Hello guys, hope you are enjoying good health. Today we are going to study adrenergic system, how this system works and how the drugs will act on this system and where these drugs will act. After going through this diagram, you will understand the mechanism of action of many drugs and mechanism of action of many receptors. First, tyrosine is converted into DOPA with the help of enzyme tyrosine hydroxylase. DOPA is the abbreviation of dihydroxyphenylalanine. DOPA is converted into dopamine with the help of enzyme D-carboxylase, that is DOPA decarboxylase. After that, in vesicular system, dopamine is converted into norepinephrine with the help of dopamine beta hydroxylase. Then this norepinephrine is released from the presynaptic junction and into the synaptic cleft. Afterwards, it acts on alpha or beta receptors. Now, the first drug is methyl P-paratyrosine. It will inhibit the tyrosine hydroxylase, thus decreasing the overall norepinephrine, thus decreasing the stimulation of alpha and beta receptors. Monoamine oxidase inhibitors and releasers will increase the concentration of norepinephrine, thus increasing the stimulation of alpha and beta receptors. Reuptake blockers will also increase the concentration of norepinephrine. Alpha-2 agonists and antagonists. Alpha-2 receptor is present on the presynaptic junction. We have highlighted the alpha-2 receptor because it is present on the presynaptic junction. So stimulation of alpha-2 receptor will increase the negative feedback, thus decreasing the norepinephrine concentration, while the alpha-2 receptor antagonists will decrease the negative feedback, thus increasing the concentration of norepinephrine. Reserpine and guanosine, we will also study these drugs, and agonists and blockers of alpha-1 and beta-1 receptors will directly act on alpha and beta receptors, while all the other 7 classes will act indirectly. Now we will see where these receptors are present, like alpha-1, alpha-2, beta-1 and beta-2, and how these receptors act. Alpha-1 receptors are coupled with GQ protein. Thus, they will increase the concentration of calcium, and calcium is related with contraction. So, in eye, radial muscles will be contracted, thus causing mydriasis. This mydriasis will be without cycloplegia. This will differentiate them from muscarinic receptors, because in muscarinic receptors there is a cycloplegia, that is blurred vision. In arterioles and veins, these are also present alpha-1 receptors. They will cause contraction in veins, in arteries, and increase the total peripheral resistance, thus increasing the total diastolic pressure and increasing the afterload. While in veins, contraction occurs, increasing the venous return and thus amplifying the preload that augments the systolic pressure. So in arterioles, diastolic pressure is increased, while in veins, systolic blood pressure is increased. While in bladder, trigone and in sphincter, contraction occurs that causes urinary retention. While in male sex organ, it is present in vas deferens and that causes ejaculation. While in liver, it increases glycogenolysis, and in kidney, it decreases renin release. Alpha-2 receptors are present on pre-junctional nerve terminals that will decrease the transmitter release and decrease norepinephrine synthesis. Apart from the pre-junctional nerve terminals, they are also present on platelets that will increase aggregation, while in pancreas they will decrease insulin secretion. So you cannot give alpha-2 agonist to the diabetic patients because it will worsen the symptoms of diabetes. One more important thing is that alpha-2 receptors are GI coupled. Thus, they will decrease the cyclic adenosine monophosphate, and this way they will decrease the transmitter release. Beta 1 receptors are mainly present in heart and kidney. In heart, they are present in SA node, AV node, atrial and ventricular muscles. They will increase the heart rate, that is called positive chronotropy. They will increase conduction velocity, called positive dromotropy. They will increase the force of contraction, called positive inotropy. You should memorize the difference between force of contraction, that is inotropy, while the rate of increase in rate of contraction is positive chronotropy, while rate of increase in force of contraction is positive inotropy. They will also, beta 1 receptor stimulation will increase conduction velocity, cardiac output and oxygen consumption. They will increase atomicity and conduction velocity. In kidney, they will increase the renin release. Beta 1 receptors are GS coupled. Beta 2 receptors are not mostly innervated. They are only innervated by epinephrine. They are present on all blood vessels. They will increase the vasodilation. Thus, they are GS coupled receptor. They will increase the concentration of cyclic adenosine monophosphate. In turn, they will decrease TPR, which will decrease the diastolic pressure, and at the end, they will decrease afterload. While in uterus, they will cause relaxation, and in bronchioles, they will cause dilation. While in skeletal muscles, they will cause increased glycogenolysis, thus causing contractility and tremors. In liver, they will increase glycogenolysis, while in pancreas, they will increase insulin secretion. While with alpha receptors, we observe that there will be decrease in insulin secretion. This table briefly explains that alpha 1 receptors are GQ coupled, alpha 2 receptors are GI coupled, and beta 1, beta 2 and dopamine receptors are GS coupled. GQ coupled receptors will increase the calcium levels, while alpha 2 are GI and they will decrease the cyclic adenosine monophosphate, while GS coupled receptor will increase the concentration of cyclic adenosine monophosphate.